Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Banbury. Of course, you've been enjoying a morning's coverage of the National Development Touch Series here, round one of the mixed competition. But what we have up now is something pretty special, the first of its kind, frankly, in the game of touch across the world. And I'm delighted to say that as one of the co-founders of the Pride in Touch initiative, designed to educate, provide visibility, and help ensure that people from the LGBTQ+ community are welcomed within a sport that is already, by its very nature and the fact that it could be played in a mixed format, one of the more inclusive sports in the world. But this is an opportunity at our DTS round one for many of the players who play the game to come and join us in celebrating the LGBTQ+ community as part of this Pride weekend. And as you can see, we have the team in navy who are wearing our iconic Pride in Touch vests, and they will be known as Rainbow Ready, and they are going to be playing the team in turquoise, Sexy Magic. There are representatives from many of the teams that are taking part over the course of the weekend, and of course those teams who are here, and it is all about everybody showing their support, individuals from the LGBTQ+ community as well taking part. And you may just see with the zero on his back, Tom Hall is just welcoming everybody to the game. It's an exhibition game, and it's a chance for everybody to show that this sport is truly welcoming and inclusive, and we are absolutely thrilled with all of the representatives who have stepped forward. We actually put out an expression of interest with a couple of days to go to see who was going to be here and who might like to play. We had over 40 people register, so a few of those have very kindly made way for others to step forward and play. And you may also see down there with the cap and the sunglasses on, England Touch CEO Chris Simon, who is going to be part of the referee team. Rob Budd is there as well, head of referees for England Touch, and also a chat with Emma Young, who is going to be our third referee from London Eagles. There's plenty of research, plenty of history, plenty of stats out there that back up the fact that as members of the LGBTQ+ community come to terms with the fact that perhaps there might be something a little bit different from what we might call the norm. They may feel they identify differently, they may feel that they're attracted to members of the same sex, they may feel asexual, they may feel pansexual. There are many, many corners of the rainbow across the LGBTQ+ community, but often it means that while all of that is going on, they shy away from sport, and ultimately we all know of the physical and mental well-beings of team sport and the opportunity to play. So Pride in Touch, with all of the welcoming atmosphere that it brings, is also a pretty good sport to show that it can be inclusive. They're all giving us a wave up in commentary. We're ready to go. England Touch CEO Chris Simon is refereeing and encourages the tap off. Rainbow Ready then playing in the navy. The first ever exhibition match on Pride weekend. Some of these players will know each other, but they are ultimately a full-on Barbarians team. This is Travis Kenny, and he's just slightly overcooked that. Hugely grateful to Physique, who have partnered to help us get the kits out and ready for today. Physique, who great company in terms of physio supplies. And believe me, a fair amount of touch players spend a fair amount of time at the physiotherapists. So this is a chance for Sexy Magic to come upfield, and interesting to see which players together may be running a little bit of policy, who's doing their best to make it up as we go along. Ball just spilled on the far side. And the ball back in field. This is Ian Stoddart plays a bit of touch with the Manchester Village Spartans, one of the inclusive rugby teams, part of the International Gay Rugby, the IGR network, who've really adopted the sport of touch this year. Used to playing rugby union, but plenty of players joining those IGR clubs who perhaps don't fancy getting as battered and bruised as often as the full 15s game can cause. So touch has now become a real offering that those clubs are offering, which has been absolutely brilliant to see. Manchester Village Spartans, who will be hosting the 2022 Pride in Touch tournament. That is next week, 25th of June. If you fancy coming along, you can get in touch with us at Pride in Touch. We're on all the socials, on Facebook, on Twitter. Oh, what a score! Superb pass, almost into thin air. But then it was followed up. And that is a brilliant effort. Super bit of play. It was fairly speculative in its nature, wasn't it? Well, that was a pretty sensational score. Kevin Foley doing the business for Bedford and for Sexy Magic. First score on the board then in the Pride Weekend exhibition match in partnership with Pride in Touch. Oh, they managed to get through, but the ball's been given away. And is there going to be a chance now for Sexy Magic to come upfield? There's a little bit of open field to really get through. The touch didn't quite get in either. It might be a streak all the way. It's the breakaway score. Rainbow Ready just looking to try and make that scoring pass. 70-metre run and the touchdown. Sexy Magic then going 2 up. Over the course of the morning, players have come over to the control tent and said, I've registered to play in the game. Where's my vest? Get me on. Hugely grateful for the support. And what's fantastic about this game is not just another chance for LGBTQ people to feel that they can represent themselves on the pitch, on our live stream, but also the allies, which is a huge part of what moves LGBTQ plus acceptance on. People standing out, people saying you're welcome, people inviting the conversation to say I may not understand, but I certainly want you to feel included. And that's simply what it's all about. Robert Norrie from Banbury getting in and playing half. Then it's been played away over on the far side. I'm realising since we've made these vests that actually from this sort of distance the numbers aren't that easy to see, are they? Norrie again going to half. Rob Budd, in the spirit of things, allowing that one to go on. The ball comes back in field from Chantel Smith from Norwich Rebels. But now it's going to be Travis Kenny again. Oh, he just wants to use that sidestep. Not entirely sure he knows how to play socially, constantly giving it large out on the field. And it's a good little run from Sabrina from London Eagles, Sabrina Pilkington. Eagles just playing on this field, so great to see Sabrina running out. I know that Sarah Trett is down there as well for Sexy Magic. And this could be possible chance of the first score for Rainbow Ready. Scoring pass given by Ian Stoddart, and that is the first time that Rainbow Ready get across the line. And, well, it's a truly historic moment, really. The fact that England Touch have been understanding, welcoming and appreciating that while it is an inclusive sport already, that anything can be done to just be more inclusive, to make it more inviting for people, to understand what those barriers are, is truly important. And the fact that this is the first Pride weekend in the sport in this country, we know that there are other initiatives underway in other countries. There's a Touch of Pride tournament planned with Touch Football Australia. As part of Pride in Touch, we've had a bit of a conversation with them. But is this going to be a chance for Sexy Magic to get in? Not quite, but it's ultimately a bit of history, and I'm glad to say a man who will be able to notate a bit of that history and tell the story for us. is the man in charge of marketing and comms, Chris Wearmouth.
Oh, you can write as much of this yourself, Nick, as much as I am.
We'll do our best.
I think you hit the nail on the head earlier on. It's it's an exhibition game, but there's no such thing as a friendly in this. It's I know the Barbarians are playing England at Twickenham later on, and having you and I have both worked on those games, and you know perfectly well that all it is that the hits are just as hard, the moves are just as hard. You just do it with a massive grin on your face, and that's been the best thing about this so far, is everybody's playing with a smile on their face, which is what it's all about.
Certainly is. Well, we've got players from London Eagles, Northampton Dragons, Cheltenham. I mentioned Ian from the Spartans, also playing with the Chargers here today, and Banbury Saxons, Liverpool Otters. They've got a few players in there actually, including Sue Prescott, who's playing for the Navy side with number 22 on the back, and Sue will be playing in our Pride in Touch tournament next weekend for Liverpool Tritons. George Clark is out there for the Otters in Navy. Got Dom as well, who's in the blue cap.
From Warwick.
Yeah, from Warwick. Kevin Foley just
the best thing about this game
coming off.
The best thing about this game as well. So I just had one of the players run over from Bournemouth who'd pre-registered. They literally just finished their game. They've come off. They've had a little bit of a debrief. They feel that she's kind of had a chocolate bar with her to refuel, and she comes sprinting over and says, "Well, I pre-registered, haven't got my shirt. Who do I need to see?" So at which point I pointed him in the direction of your husband, Tom.
Excellent.
Tom's your man. And off you go, and there she is. I don't know which team she's on, but it's great. I think I love the way that it's been embraced by everybody.
Well, that is the key. And here comes Ian. He's making some decent yards out on this side. He's sending players turning one way and then the other. Eventually, they catch up with him. It's Livy from Bedford who does the job defensively for Sexy Magic.
Josiah Tuisova, eat your heart out. That is, that's right up there with Semi Radraja, Tuava. You name them. Stick him in you could have put him in a Fijian shirt and he'd have looked at home. Absolutely.
Other clubs involved: Cambridge, of course, Bedford, as I mentioned, and Horsham Tigers. It really is, in the spirit of the Fijians turning out on the Barbarian side. That is what this is about, this exhibition game. People turning out. Perhaps they've got friends who are LGBTQ+, family members. They want to take an opportunity to show that they're as embracing of the community as anybody else. And it's hugely important, the visibility, improving tolerance. Unfortunately, we know that in parts of the country, in parts of the world, there are people still vilified for simply who they love. And, we know that the world can be a better place than that. And anything that people can do to make life an easier place, a more welcoming and inclusive place, well, that is what we at Pride in Touch aim to do by getting more people into team sport and into the game we love. It's given me and my husband and co-founder Tom an awful lot. Both played for England, both been internationals, both absolutely love the team environment and what the game has brought us. And if we can show some of our fellow LGBTQ+ community friends that actually this could be a sport for them as well, then why not?
And I think you hit the nail on the head again in terms of just saying that it's somewhere where you can be who you are, because everybody's taken at face value in this sport. You know, you rock up. And
it's also, you nearly actually said the phrase, because everybody else is taken, which is also another great phrase. You've got to. I can't remember who it was. You've got to be yourself because everyone else is taken. Which, yeah.
Oh, Travis Kenny. Oh, what a love. Oh no. Boo. Oh. Jack Harris. Boo.
Well, we were all absolutely loving that. But there is the half-time hooter. And I think Chris Simon has now popped up to the announcer's booth, and that is his voice over the tannoy, I think, calling out the referee for a terrible call. Not in the spirit at all.
No, well, it's. I think, Chris Simon has overruled. It's the equivalent of the TMO booth. He's the NRL bunkie. He's the NFL office in New York. He's the man in the stand, the voice of God himself.
There we are.
Forget the penalty, give the try. And that's what it's all about.
So we can just hear Chris Simon on the tannoy, just letting everybody know that truly believes, from an England touch perspective, that touch is a sport for all.
how important is it for an organiser? I mean, let's kind of forget that this is touch rugby for a minute, but how important is it for organisations like yourself to be partnered up with national governing bodies, and to see that, and to have similar organisations to yourself be partnered up with their respective NGBs as well?
Yeah, it's hugely important, and you can get the sense that a governing body or a sport will already feel like it is welcoming of a sort, and I mean, a recent example of the last couple of years in a slightly different sphere is the side of the Black Lives Matter movement, because a lot of people said, well, I'm not racist, I'm not going to be the sort of person that does something wrong, but actually the call was on more people to actively see what they could be doing, to check their own biases, to try and improve things, to move the dial a bit further in terms of inclusion and realising what a different community had to put up with, those minor aggressions, these kind of things that we don't always think about because we're not the people that receive them. And that even when you have an organisation, a sporting governing body, be that England Touch or anybody else, they can say, well, yeah, our sport's inclusive, but actually, what are you doing to change that? And we see over the years plenty more brands, companies, industries wanting to get involved through Pride Month, but also realising that rainbow washing doesn't cut it. It's not about changing a logo to a rainbow for the month. It's about what more can you do. And in rugby union, a club like Harlequins is really leading the way. 3 years now they've run their Pride game at Quins. Alongside that, they conduct research with the likes of Monash University, who publish their figures around negative language and the needs to improve that. And so, for us at Pride in Touch, to have begun the dialogue with England Touch a couple of years ago and been so warmly received, and then to be able to be in a scenario where we're developing a longer-term commitment and a longer-term partnership with each other, truly means everything, because it means that everybody that steps into the game understands that that's what their governing body is doing and taking a lead in, and that's what will be expected of them. But it also then says to anybody who may be LGBTQ+, well, actually, those guys seem to care. Those guys are putting active steps in place. We've helped develop the transgender, diverse, and non-binary policy.
Oh, what a pass! Sorry, what a pass from Travis Kenny.
And these things are really important. So yeah, the extra mile that governing bodies can go makes a big difference to perception and reality.
I have to say, as somebody, I've always considered myself to be an inclusive, everything at face value person. But what you said in terms of, people having to just taking a minute and just, just reassess just how they are and so on and so forth. All of the work that has been done and the conversation, you and I have known each other a long time, and the stuff with the Equality, Diversity and Inclusion group is, and if I'm typical of a lot of people, it's making me kind of not think again, but it's just making sure that you're just being really mindful of making sure that everything is as tolerant, everything as inclusive as it possibly can be, in a way that, because I am a heterosexual middle-aged white man. I'm the very quintessential thing. I have no experience of what it's like to live as an ethnic minority, as somebody who's LGBTQ+, sorry. So it's really important that that we have these open discussions and that it's open-minded, and so that we can move that forward. And I like to think that I've done that as time's gone on, and it's. By the way, it's nice to see Chris Simon, swap his referee shirt.
I know he's out there on the field now, looking to try and make a defensive touch there for Sexy Magic, and well, you're absolutely right, Chris, and. Checking our biases, checking our blind spots and trying to improve is what it's all about. And it's okay as well to not know all the answers and to ask the questions. People may be wondering what the mnemonic is that everyone can get fairly tongue-twisted about, LGBTQ+. Some people call it LGBTQIA. You may hear that a little more over in the States. But lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, Q, for some people can be queer, for some people can be questioning. Some people may hear the word queer and think, well, isn't that a word that was used pejoratively? Well, yeah, certainly a number of years ago perhaps it was, but actually it is a word that has been reclaimed and embraced by those that feel that it just sums up perhaps just being who you are, whatever you are, and perhaps a member of the LGBTQ+ community without defined lines or defined definitions. So for anyone out there that was just a little unsure as to what all that means, well, there's a little bit for you, but there are so many parts of the rainbow that it's a lovely, diverse community. And as soon as you start to realise that the best thing about any person is all of the things they are, rather than how they conform to anyone else, well, then you're onto a winner already. And
also, is that as we see with Tom, you know what, Rob's not going to let Tom get away with that touch and pass. But also, is that if you're unsure, it's just ask.
Yeah.
It's just have that conversation. Don't feel tongue-twisted or you are going to get tongue-twisted, tongue-tied, unsure. People are going to do that, but just ask.
Yeah.
And and everybody is, and certainly in my experience, is that everybody is happy to say.
Yeah.
People understand that.
Thundering driving run there. That was brilliant.
Yeah.
From who was that? I haven't got a note down. It was whoever's down there playing with number 14. Brilliant driving and a
lovely pass from Don Bastieri as well.
Rainbow ready now, floating around that 10-metre line.
Don pulling the strings in the midfield, and he's there to support as well.
Oh, now they're looking to try and scoop and go. Was the player onside? I think Emma Young is saying the touch was made, and that will do. So we get the turnover. If anybody is looking to try and ask some questions and looking to try and get in touch, we've also been offering training to officials and members of England Touch as well, and also clubs, representatives, whether you're a volunteer, whether you are a player. And we are on email. You can info@prideinTouch.org. We don't have our own website as such yet. We are on the social medias, Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. And you can find us on @prideinTouch. But if you want to get in touch with us via email, it is info@prideinTouch.org. We'd love to hear from you if you think we can help, or if you'd like perhaps to engage in any of your own LGBTQ+ initiatives over this Pride Month. That might be a training session, could be a game, whatever you'd like to do. Anything that might show to others nearby that you want to be welcoming of the community, then that would be really important. But it's just great. They're here in Banbury for this DTS weekend, the first England Touch Pride weekend. My name's Nick Heath, co-founder of Pride in Touch, and we have the two teams. Incidentally, Rainbow Ready and Sexy Magic, well, the names come about because of the colours in their very original gay pride flag. Gilbert Baker was born in 1951. In 1978, he designed the original flag with the 6 colours, and the turquoise was believed to represent magic, and the hot pink was believed to represent sex. So that's why we decided to call our turquoise and hot pink trim vest Sexy Magic. And then the others, well, you may notice if you look up closely, each one of the seams is a different colour of the rainbow as you go across the vest, with the purple along the bottom. So then these are the Rainbow Ready vests. They are all available to purchase. You can get in touch with us if you would like to represent one of our vests yourselves.
By the way, one thing that we missed in the early bit is Robin Budd giving a penalty for overstepping the mark, and then becoming our very own Vinnie Jones in terms of playing up to the gallery, getting booed, and he's conducting the spectators on the far side.
Quite right too. Sol Phoenix just making his way off the field as well, another fellow member of the Equality, Diversity and Inclusion Working Group with England Touch. But out there, the likes of Tom Hall, co-founder of Pride in Touch, who has been another huge part of everything we've done. The two of us have been delighted with the buy-in we've had from the worldwide community. We've sold over probably 700-800 of these vests across the world now, maybe pushing close to 1,000. Places as far as Hong Kong, Australia, Canada, the USA, Japan, and right across the UK as well. But some of the names that we've got turning out this afternoon: Maddie Miles Kingston, Rin Burford-Taylor, Ian Stoddart's out there, Danielle from the Northampton Dragons, Lorraine Hill, Sue Prescott, Georgie Clark, Sabrina from the London Eagles, Sabrina Pilkington, Dom, as you mentioned, Chris. And then for our Sexy Magic team, Chantal Smith, Libby from Bedford, Hannah Suzuki as well. We've seen Travis Kenny, Emma Conroy's out there, Kevin Foley, and a few others. We've got old Snake Hips, apparently, who was out there.
Is that Chris Simon?
No. We've got Roz from Horsham Tigers, Catherine from the Liverpool Otters, and Robert Norrie, and plenty more who have run over before the game has started, so their names are not on my team sheet, but every single one is hugely appreciated for taking time in a period that would normally be a break. That might be a broken nose if we're not careful.
Yeah, proper Falcon that time.
But yeah, grateful for everybody. And I think Rob Budd's now swapped his ref shirt to potentially run on for Rainbow Ready.
And a lot of these players as well are in their first National Touch Series event. So for them to, to carry on playing during the game.
Oh, that's what we love. And Rob Pubb was there just in time to get his hands on it. Now then, is this a chance for Rainbow Ready to try and strike? Ball gets out wide. It could just be a race into the corner here. Oh, was the touch in? Touch has been called. Oh, but I don't think it's going to be given.
Dom's given it.
Doms gives the try.
I'm sure, well, he looked like he was about to give it.
There's a little question mark. He's still doing a touch signal, but I'm
not entirely sure what he's done there.
I think the touch has been called, so Rainbow Ready are going to get the chance to play this again. What a race into the corner we had there.
And a lovely between the legs pass to set that all up. So again, proper Fijian stuff.
Oh, quick reverse ball back inside. They weren't quite ready for that one.
I think the other thing as well, just as we go into the last minute, is that it's actually a really good way as well just to keep your limbs moving, because it's quite a warm day today. Everybody's in, a contrast to yesterday when it was not chucking it down, but it had its moments. And and today it's a good way for people just to keep mobile, limber as they go into the knockout stages this afternoon of the Development National Touch Series round 1.
Oh, just a bit of miscommunication between two London Eagles there, Sarah Tratt and Tom Hall. Tom chasing down Travis Kenny. He's looking for his options out a little wider. Was a call right on the wing. Back into the middle it goes for Rainbow Ready. Into, as we say, the last minute. It's a quick pick. Trying to get the run on the outside. There goes the final hooter. And the referee brings the game to an end. Well, it's been a little bit of history here in Banbury. The first ever Pride in Touch exhibition match taking place as part of the England Touch first ever Pride weekend. Once again, hugely grateful to everybody that has taken part in the game, and for all of you who have continued to support our work at Pride in Touch. Please do keep in touch with us and what we're trying to do in terms of making this sport as truly inclusive as it can possibly be. Thank you very much for your company.